Here we go. Boy, do we have a multi-layered story for you guys. Verified 100%, the head of Wagner officially deceased. They have the DNA testing. We'll get into that. But also, now that the head of Wagner is gone, what's happening to Niger, Africa? They're getting scammed, like quite literally getting scammed. Their media is being blasted by misinformation everywhere. We're gonna go through all of this and how, even though the head of Wagner, who was also in charge of these troll farms, we're still getting a ton of disinformation to the point where I got scammed. A lot of other people got scammed. The U.S. ambassador, who was ordered to leave Niger, Africa, that never happened. That was not true. However, this disinformation campaign is actually quite effective, that it's able to affect news all over the world, to include the citizens of Niger, Africa, who have literally no idea what's going on anymore. The only thing they do know is that troops are on high alert. But before we get into that, let's look at the report and see Mr. Prigozhin 100% deceased. They have the DNA testing, and I thought it'd be interesting to go from that, go into this disinformation campaign and how it's affecting a lot of people in a very negative way, because this can get dangerous real fast.
Russian investigators said on Sunday that genetic tests had confirmed Yevgeny Prigozhin, the leader of the Wagner mercenary group, was among the 10 individuals who lost their lives in a recent plane crash. In a statement, Russia's investigative committee said the identities of all 10 dead were established. The crash occurred in the Tver region, northwest of Moscow, involving a private jet. Initial reports from Russia's aviation agency had already listed all 10 individuals on board, including Prigozhin.
Okay, so we already knew this was a thing. This is not really breaking news. The part that's crazy, though, is what's happening after the fact. We have a $10 donation if you're watching this live. Glad to see you on YouTube. Love your work. Hey, I love you too. It is I appreciate you if you're watching this live. Much love to everybody. And this video gets posted as well if you want to go back and watch it. So again, thank you so much. So again, we already knew this is a thing. We had the DNA testing, whatever. Now we have Niger, Africa saying, okay, we are on high alert. But where's the correlation? What does Wagner passing away have to do with maximum war on high alert? A lot does. There's a lot of correlation, especially in the media space, especially considering that Niger, Africa had called upon Wagner to help them, but now they have Mali helping them and Burkina Faso, who also have Russian ties. The reason why it's relevant is because, again, in this media space, media is relevant throughout Telegram, Instagram, Facebook, everything, TikTok. A lot of the civilians and the communities are absorbing the media to see what's happening because, again, internet is limited. A lot of things are limited, and outside influences, a lot of them are Russian. Changing the media, changing the narrative is terrible. And I'll give you an example, but I just want to show you guys that Niger orders troops to go on maximum alert. The junta in Niger has ordered its armed forces to go on the highest alert, citing an increased threat of attack, according to an internal document issued by its defense chief on Friday that a security source in the country confirmed was authentic. This is important. The document, which was shared widely online Saturday, said the order to be on maximum alert would allow forces to respond adequately in case of any attack and avoid a general surprise. Now, the reason why it's important to be confirmed authentic, everyone got scammed on this one. I got scammed on this. I reported on it. Reuters, Fox News, everybody throughout the world. U.S. says Niger has not told the U.S. ambassador to leave the country. I had initially made a report, and a lot of other people did, that, hey, the U.S. ambassador is being kicked out of the country of Niger, and so is the French ambassador. Telling you guys right now, the French are getting kicked out. We'll get to that in a second. But even I found it. If you go back and watch my video, even I was like, how are they kicking out the ambassador, but they're not kicking out the U.S. military? I found it a little odd. I'm not about to sit here and be like, I knew this was happening. But again, we're seeing further evidence of this disinformation war that's really highly affecting Niger and other African nations who are backing Niger. Niger's foreign minister has told the U.S. government that images of letters circulating online calling for the departure of certain American diplomat personnel were not issued by the ministry, a U.S. Department spokesman said. No such request has been made to the U.S. government, the spokesman said after the AFP reported that Niger has given the U.S. ambassador 48 hours to leave the African country. And if you're watching this right now at the time of making this video, the 48 hours are up. And when I was like looking up the news on what's happening, this pops up, but then also Wagner is still on this misinformation campaign. Stand by. You know what's not you know what's not fake news? I hate using that. I do have a second channel. I'm not sponsored by anyone. This is the perfect segue for there's no misinformation here. It's all laughs and humor and history. So if you want to subscribe to the second channel, The Supply Dude, it helps out a lot. I have a pinned link in the live stream, and I'll leave a pinned comment for you guys. That's the sponsor, my second channel. Whoop-de-doo. Okay, not fake is that Niger is kicking out the French ambassador. Like 100%. That's not fake. And I've been pretty consistent about this. The United States has really managed to stay out of all of this, and Niger has really never even spoken about the United States. The people of Niger never had an issue with them. It's the French that they've always had an issue with. So let's go ahead and watch what this is all about, because, boy, the French, I'm not surprised.
We'll give them a deadline of...
Hopefully we can watch this. It might lag. See, even my internet can't stand the French. It doesn't even want me to watch this video. Let's see if this works. This is what happens when you do this live. The internet don't lie. If my internet doesn't like the French, I'm sorry. Here, let's see.
10 days. The day the deadline passes will penetrate their base. It's true that there will be deaths.
Okay. It is what it is. Whenever we do these lives, my internet's... Whenever I talk about the French, my internet's like, nah, we're not talking about the French.
But the most important thing for us is that they leave. Our country is more important than our lives. So we're ready to sell our lives for that country.
Okay, if that doesn't get the point across that these people are willing to storm the French embassy or any French bases, I don't know what does. These guys are not joking around. The neighboring countries like you see here, Burkina Faso and Mali, have also, sort of expelled the French. And this is like common throughout many of the countries who have had coups. They were former French colonies or French influence, so this is no surprise. Now, the meat and potatoes of this video and kind of why we're here. You have something out there called the Internet Research Agency. Now, it has disbanded, but okay, look, in the United States, especially during the election, you always had Russian influence, Russian trolls, and all this stuff. But it was verified to be true. Highly motivated and backed by Wagner Group, the head of Wagner, Mr. Prigozhin, came out and said, this is a legit thing. The agency employed fake accounts registered on major social network sites, decision boards, online newspaper sites, video hosting to promote the Kremlin's interest in domestic and foreign policy. Okay? So we know this is a thing, and we know that Russia has done this before. All of a sudden, it has dissolved. But what is interesting is that now, all of a sudden, you actually have a massive influx on reporting happening on Niger, Africa, in promotion to Russia, in denouncing the West, especially the French and the United States. Okay? Russia uses social media channels to exploit the Niger coup. Social media channels associated with the Russian state have launched a major effort to exploit last month's military coup in Niger, seeking to reinforce Moscow's influence in the country and possibly open opportunities for intervention. One thing you do have to understand is that the general population, the general population of Niger, Africa does not have access to a lot of internet, TV, etc. Considering a lot of the power is shut down, there's not a lot of food going around, and the country's sort of not doing great. The people who do have access to this are the ones who are like highly in charge, the generals, politicians, etc. So if they're seeing news and whatever, they're going to be relying on the media and news outlets to, maybe provide them with some news, and that could influence a lot of things within Niger, Africa. Activity focusing on Niger on channels linked to the paramilitary Wagner group declined sharply after Prigozhin, Wagner's leader, in a plane crash north of Moscow last week. But pro-Russian Telegram channels more broadly have continued to discuss or push disinformation about Niger at generally the same level as before Prigozhin's passing away, according to research by Logically. Prigozhin, who led a rebellion in Russia in June, spearheaded a disinformation offensive in Africa that played a key role in the expansion of Russia influence in a strategic area such as Sahel. And if you're watching this live, good to see all of you. I will be posting this. Content about Niger across 45 Russian Telegram channels affiliated with the Russian state of Wagner increased by 6,645% in a month after the coup. I'm going to read that number one more time. This is how much the Russian influence on media on Niger, Africa in general. 6,645%. That is quite the increase. Okay. So again, the numbers are out there. The data is out there. And there's a lot of reason to believe that now Russia is trying to make some sort of strategic push into the region now, especially while the country is sort of in disarray. This is the perfect time to try taking over. I think this is terrible. I really do hope the country of Niger, Africa figures it out, and all of ECOWAS figures it out. I hope there is no conflict. But I think it's important to put these stories out here that although you do have Yevgeny Prigozhin gone, misinformation has skyrocketed 6,000%. Like, it's still a thing here, people. And so definitely on this channel, we'll be looking for a push or something. If there's going to be more militant groups, Russian militant groups going into Niger, or at least Mali to try getting into Niger, I predict that'll probably be a thing. Anyway, I will be posting this video. I hope you guys learned something, that misinformation, social media is a massive part of today's 21st century battle space. The media, news outlets, it's crazy. But Russia has figured it out. Russia has been public and said they have done it. Apparently they've dissolved, but it's still a thing. The numbers are out there. Telegram is out there. You can go do your own research. Somebody just gave me a $2 donation. I don't know why I'm donating. Here's something to throw you off. Thank you for throwing me off again. Much love. Anyway, if you're watching this live, I'm going to post this video. Make sure you comment on the posted video. I comment back, and those videos help generate new video ideas for the channel. Plus, it's free. Plus, I love talking to all you guys. So thank you guys for being here. Love all of you guys. I'm going to post this. I'll see you over on the posted video. And we got another $2. What do you think would end the conflict ASAP if the United States sent a ton of special forces in and more U.S. assets? Because then from there, Russia will not be able to influence anything. If the United States sends more special forces, more influence, they give more money, they promise a peace plan, I think that'll help decline things. That is my opinion. However, that's probably not going to happen because to the American public, Niger, Africa doesn't mean a thing. I'm just going to be honest with you. From the perspective of the United States, why would anyone care what's happening in Niger, Africa? But from the perspective of the U.S. military, it's a massive, important key factor to the fight of militant groups within Central Africa. But yeah, that's my opinion, that the United States would have to funnel in a lot of money, more so than they already are, beyond humanitarian aid, bring in troops, bring in training, more so than they're doing, but I don't think they're going to. Okay, love all you guys. Again, if you're watching this live, I'm going to post this right now. Go to the posted video. It helps out a ton. We can generate some discussion. And thank you, everybody, for the donations. Thank you for being here. Love all you guys. Thank you.